Primo Levi, Moments of Reprieve. Raise your hand if you know anything about Holocaust literature. It might be surprising that in the camps, one of the most frequent states of mind was curiosity. And yet, besides being frightened, humiliated, and desperate, we were curious, hungry for bread, and also to understand. Okay, can you really imagine what it would have been like to be in a camp, to be removed from your country, to be removed from all human convenience, to have your hands tied, have your wrists tied behind you, and you're hoisted up in the air until your shoulder blades pop out of their sockets, or to test the degree to which a human being can withstand lack of pressure in a vacuumized room or extreme temperature. Okay? But regardless of all that, Primo Levi says we still had curiosity, hungry for bread and also to understand. The world around us was upside down, and so somebody must have turned it upside down. And for that reason, he himself must have been upside down. 1, 1,000, 1,000,000 anti-human beings created to twist that which was straight, to befoul that which was clean. It was an unpermissible simplification, but at that time and in that place, we were not capable of complex ideas. Here we have Primo Levi, as well as most individuals in the human condition, looking for someone or something to blame. Who do we blame? Whose fault is this? Who has screwed us over in this sense? What is the system? How is it corrupted? What has happened? What has gone wrong? As regard the lords of evil, this curiosity, which is not limited to the Nazi chiefs, still lingers. Hundreds of books have come out on the psychology of Hitler, Stalin, Himmler, Goebbels, and I have read dozens of them and been left unsatisfied. At the very least, we have the presence of power. I am stronger than you, therefore I will take what I want. Would you not do the same thing if you had such power? How compassionate are you? Construction crane collapses. That's what happens to construction cranes. They collapse. There's nothing you can do about it. You try to do too much, you try to push too hard, and that's what happens, according to this guy, with a suit and a tie and a smile on his face. World's largest flag, world's largest German flag. How apropos. Turn the page. All the Italians were returning to Italy, and the officials let it be understood that if anyone wanted to take along those parentless kids, he may be talking about the end of the camps and the end of the war, they would look the other way. Avram had become friends with an Alpine soldier from the Canavese. They crossed the Tervezia on the same troop train, and the fascist government confined them in the same quarantine camp. I'm confused about what's happening. They're leaving Italy, but there's still presence of a camp. I don't really understand. But all the same, they still seem to be under lockdown. It was called a sanitary quarantine, and after all, they did have lice, but actually it was a political quarantine, because Mussolini did not want those veterans to talk too much about what they had seen. They stayed there until September 12th when the Germans arrived, as though they were pursuing Avram, personally driving him out of every hiding place in Europe. The Germans sealed off the camp and loaded everybody on freight trains to transport them to Germany. We have the presence of a roundup, but I'm not really sure what's happening here. In the freight car, Avram told his Alpine friend, but that's okay because Primo Levi still has an incredible ability to tell us stories, that he was not going to Germany because he knew all about the Germans and what they were capable of. Better to throw yourself off the train. The Alpino replied that he too had seen what the Germans had done in Russia, but that he did not have the courage to jump. He said that if Avram jumped, however, he would give him a letter for his parents in the Canavese, saying that the boy was a friend of his, that they should give him his own bed and treat him just as if it were he. Avram did jump off the train with his letter in his pocket. He was in Italy, but not in the glossy, gleaming Italy of the picture postcards and geography textbooks. He was alone on the railbed, penniless, in the middle of the night. Okay, if you don't know anything about Primo Levi, I suggest you look into it. Excellent recaptionist of the Holocaust period. He's a beautiful, poignant writer. An individual looking at the mundane within the complex, although he would call it the simple in the complex or something like that. I don't know. But check it out, and if you get a chance, do March of the Living in Poland. I would very much like to go with you, but I have a feeling the train ride will be cold and bumpy, all the same.